pledge. Ms. Buck?
Mayor Ziegler,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Beagle,
Here.
Councilmember Gatchell.
Here.
Councilmember Grenlund Fox is excused. Councilmember Leader,
Here.
Councilmember Resnick,
Here.
Councilmember Smiley,
Here.
quorum present.
Thank you. Any changes to the agenda, Mr. Brown?
No, Your Honor, I have no changes this evening.
Anybody up here have any changes or amendments? Okay. First item on the agenda is the approval of the regular city council meeting of September 24th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Any changes? Anybody? Any typos or anything anybody noticed, or naturally not? I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for September 24th, 2019. And a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Correspondence, we have 3 items of correspondence this evening. One was a letter from Tony Moscone regarding his resignation from the DDA. We have a notice from Oakland County Bicentennial Information, and we have a notice of hearing for the gas customers of Consumers Energy Company, case number U-20618. Next item on the agenda is the first call to the public. I will read the rules for the call to the public. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence and again immediately after new business. The first call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reason for addressing the council, and all comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. Is there anybody wishing to address the council this evening on any agenda items? Seeing no one jump up, I will close the first call to the public. Next item on the agenda are the city manager's reports. We have 2 reports. The first is the fire monthly report of August 2019. Does anybody have any questions, comments? We also have a police monthly report for August 2019. Anyone? Mr. Beagle.
Thanks. 2 quick questions, Director Moore. Non-criminal complaints, what would those be? Because those, it's at the bottom of the list, that went up pretty significant.
I'm sorry, you said non-criminal
Yeah, it's
complaints?
non-criminal complaints, it went up 87 from last year to this year. What?
Yeah, that's going to be like a juvenile mischief type complaints, those types. You see where it says other service requests?
Yeah, 'cause that was what-
If somebody calls in for a vehicle lockout, they lock their keys in their cars,
Okay.
that's going to fall under other service requests, or helping other police agencies on an investigation. That's going to be another service request. The non-criminal complaints are going to be those types of complaints where we don't submit, either make an arrest or submit a complaint warrant to the prosecutor's office. So it could be a juvenile mischief type complaint,
Okay.
kids at the schools, something like that.
Just had a little jump to it, I just want to make sure
Sure.
that everything's good. Thanks.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ron.
Sure.
Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the consent agenda and added to regular agenda at the end of unfinished or new business. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support. motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Unfinished business, there is none. New business. First item under new business is a recommendation to confirm the mayoral appointment of Kaylee Fine to the Downtown Development Authority with a term to expire June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Support.
I have a motion and support, and Kaylee is here this evening. Come on up and introduce yourself.
Can I just stand right here?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
It's taller than me, so I'll just stand over here then.
That's good.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Fine. I'm very excited to be here. A little bit about me. Some of my hobbies include I love movies, like to read.
It's fine. Can you use the mic behind you, because otherwise they're not going to pick you up on the
Oh,
broadcast at
sorry.
home. Thank you.
I didn't realize this thing goes low. Yeah, some of my hobbies include I like to read, I like movies, and then I have 2 cats. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Great. Well, nice to meet you. Does anybody have any questions of Kaylee?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, well, on with the business. We have a motion and a second to approve the mayoral appointment of Kaylee Fine to the DDA. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Welcome. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is recommendation to authorize the purchase of a Freightliner truck chassis from Wolverine Freightliner West Side of Ypsilanti, Michigan, in the amount of $92,113, and purchase the swap loader and related snow fighting equipment and install a slip-on salt unit from Truck and Trailer Specialties of Dutton, Michigan, in an amount not to exceed $107,900. Do I have a motion?
So move. Support.
So this is a budgeted item that we were looking for. We've solicited bids from Truck and Trailer through the Mitten process, but through Rochester Hills, and they've given us the best price. As you know, we usually we utilize Freightliners for this, for our large trucks, primarily for the maintenance that's involved with them. It's good practice to continue to use the similar trucks throughout the services. This truck will be replacing number 2 truck, which is a fixed bottom dump truck, and it will be 14 years old when we retire it. We expect that the new truck will arrive shortly before next winter. So we've got about 11-month waiting list to get in queue, so we'd like to get this moving so that we can utilize it during next winter's cycle. This is a live bottom, meaning that there's a traveling bottom underneath the box, which will be able to pull salt or road gravel for shoulder work and those kind of things. We are also planning to retire the shoulder box, which attaches to our dumps right now. This piece of machinery is 25, almost 30 years old, and we expect that this live bottom box will be better suited for what we're looking for. This machine will also have a wing plow attachment that is part of our goal to have 3 wing plows in our fleet, 1 for each section of the city that we plow. That way we can utilize 3 different wing plows in the 3 different sections, the upper section, the middle section, and the southern sections of the city. We think it's an efficient way to fight the storms, and it also improves our capabilities driving through subdivisions in that case. So I'm open for questions on this.
Questions? Mr. Smiley?
Thank you. Hey there, Mr. Sickma. A couple questions. One, that 11-month, waiting period for the delivery, you don't foresee any issues with that delay. you know, the current
Nope.
fleet is working okay. Just
Right.
once we get this one, we'll be even faster.
Yes.
I think it's something, you know, more efficient, more, you know, more capable of, you know, dealing with any kind of big, you know, snowfall.
Right,
Okay.
and then,
That's-
excuse me,
sure.
sorry, the nice thing about that is that we are replacing another truck, so when we get the new truck, we'll be putting the other one on BidNet as an auction. And right before winter, we hope to get the best price for that truck. So the last one we had.
Next winter.
The next
Yeah.
winter, yeah.
Oh, so we won't have additional capabilities, we'll just have
Right,
better.
well, it'll be better with the live bottom plot on,
Oh,
live
that's
bottom
what you-
box and the wing
What we're
plot.
getting will be better, but we won't have the quantity, the
Right.
quality goes up.
Right,
Okay, gotcha.
exactly.
And then, real quick, also, do I understand this correctly, there was 25 purchased through a group of, you know, a consortium, if you will, of
Right.
cities, and that helped keep the price at a, you know, it gave us a better price.
It gives us, yeah, much
Yeah,
better price.
that's great. Okay, that's all I wanted.
Yep.
Mr. Resnick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Sigmund, the expected life of the new chassis, what is it
Well,
approximately?
we're replacing every 14 to 20 years. And this one, the 2006 will be the one that we are replacing, so it'll be 14 years old.
So this one's expected to last at least that long?
Yes.
And okay. Will number 2 truck actually go to auction then?
That's the plan.
Okay, so it'll go to auction.
But we won't bring it to auction until we have the other one in hand and it's capable of plowing snow.
Okay. Well, one other request I would have from Mr. Brown is when we have these big ticket capital purchases, if we could put in the first paragraph of the administrative summary, like we used to, that this was a budgeted item from account number so-and-so. We used to do that, and at least when members of the public are looking at it, they know that I know down at the bottom, you can go through and actually figure out that it was a budgeted line item, but in the administrative summary for members of the public, I think it'd be good just to say that.
Sure.
I can do that.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is recommendation to approve the purchase of Microsoft Office 2019 from SHI International Corporation in the amount of $20,357.78. Installation from BPI in the amount of $1,875. And Microsoft Exchange Online for an annual subscription rate of $4,017.85, utilizing the Michigan Master Computing Program Contract, Michigan deal, my deal, along with the approval of the requested budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Would you like to come on up and give us a little spiel here?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Thanks.
Thanks for inviting me in. It's nice to see everyone. It's been a little while since I've been here. During the budgeting process last winter, we forecasted that we would replace Microsoft Office 2010. And when we budgeted for that, we forecasted that we would go to a complete cloud model to supply that Office software product. One of our engineers did a little further investigation and found it would be financially better to purchase Microsoft Office and keep our email in the cloud. So kind of a hybrid model. Microsoft Office will be installed on each of the desktop computers, the latest version, which is 2019, and we'll continue to use the cloud email service that we've subscribed to. We've outlined a cost savings with a break-even analysis within the first year that will save money on this blended configuration.
Anybody have any questions? Mr. Smiley?
Yes, sir, thank you. Hello, Mr. Blackburn, good to see you again.
Thank you.
Did I read, it sounded like you were, not surprised, but you weren't expecting the ability to purchase, licenses, individual licenses, rather than having to, do the subscription version of it?
Yes, yeah. So Microsoft, their plan is to move everything to the cloud. So
A
that's
lot
their,
of people are going that way with stuff. I was surprised we could do it.
yeah. So when we saw the opportunity that we didn't necessarily have to go to the cloud, we investigated it further.
Yeah, no, the savings is great, we like that. Is there any concern, I guess, or issue with if they eventually do stop allowing the purchase, will that disrupt things here at all, or will we be covered for, what is it, some spell of time before we have to revisit this?
Yes, that's a real possibility. Microsoft could change course at a moment's notice. They don't necessarily have a history of that. They tend to give you advance warning that something will come to end of life, or they'll no longer be supporting it, or they'll no longer be selling it. But in a scenario where in, say, 24 months, Microsoft says they will no longer provide any support for Microsoft Office 2019, we would have already saved money in doing this model.
You said the break-even point's a year, so
Yeah.
even if it's a year from now, they do something sudden where it's a wash only at that point.
Yes. And then the
Okay.
transition from one Microsoft Office product to the latest Microsoft Office product is usually very acceptable to the average user. It's not too disruptive at all.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Resnick?
Just one follow-on question, Mr. Blackburn. Thank you so much for investigating this and coming up with the savings. The one-time installed licenses, then, I noticed that there's 2 levels of Microsoft Office. There's a Professional Plus and then the Business version. What are the major differences?
Really, the only difference is the more expensive version includes Microsoft Access. And there was a limited number of users that required that application, so we felt, let's do 2 tiers. We'll save a little bit more money and just provide the Microsoft Access for the users that need that application.
Okay, so some of the databases are still relying on Access. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Gotcho?
Thank you. Just looking at the one-time purchase option against the optional and not recommended option there. I noticed a difference in the service labor installed between 365 and 2019.
Yeah.
That would be through your company, right? Not through Microsoft?
That's correct.
So what accounts for the like $7,000 or $6,500 difference?
Well, first let's take a look at what we need to, for the plan that we're recommending. We need to go to each PC and install Microsoft Office 2019. It's a fairly straightforward process and doesn't take a huge amount of time. But we visit each PC and install that. And I think it breaks down to about $25 per PC, very reasonable. Now, when we move to the cloud, we have to expand what's called our tenant account with Microsoft. And we have to migrate everything from our local systems up to the cloud. It's very time consuming, and that's why there's a higher labor component with that. And that would be a one-time fee.
Okay, so I guess, can you go into a little bit more depth about what would need to be shifted if it did go to the cloud?
What we would do is we would set up 2 of the biggest things when you go to the cloud. There's something called OneDrive and SharePoint. And so all of those tenant accounts, each user that's here would need to have that piece set up for them. So that, and then synchronized with their local computer and the server here. And then we have to set up the SharePoint structure to make sure that mirrors the organizational structure here at the city. So it's quite an involved process.
Okay.
And I'm recommending we don't do that.
Anyone else?
And just one more point on the savings. The savings are projected for 5 years at about $11,000 per year. Our current license for Microsoft Office is a 2010, so we've gone far beyond 5 years of use on that, and that may well be the case this time as well, in which case the savings is going to grow additionally from there. But 55 would be the minimum if we kept it for 5 years.
Okay, thank you. We've got a motion and a second to approve the purchase of Microsoft Office 2019 from SHI International Corporation in the amount of $20,357.78. The installation from BPI and the amount of $1,875, and Microsoft Exchange Online for an annual subscription rate of $4,017.85, utilizing the Michigan Master Computing Program contract, my deal, and then along with the approval of the requested budget amendment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Should I just stay here? And
Yeah, I think, yeah. Next item on the agenda is a recommendation to approve the purchase from SHI International Corporation of Barracuda cloud-based email archive and spam filter utilizing the Michigan Master Computing Program contract for the annual amount of $4,545.36 and labor from BPI for $540. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Anybody have any questions? Well, I guess there's no discussion.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Stay after all. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the second call to the public. I just read the rules to the public, so I'm going to open up the second call to the public. Come on up and speak your mind.
Probably not the right person to say that to.
No.
Vanessa Willett, I'm a resident here in Wixom, as most of you know, and a volunteer on the DDA board as well. And I want to welcome Kaylee to our DDA family. We have a lot of great events. We're supported by the city council. We're supported by Mr. Brown. And we really appreciate us working together with the city, really to make our city better for all of us. Not just the residents, but people from outside, people who work here, people who visit. And you know, it takes a lot for board members to donate their time. And I think that the city appreciates that, and the council members appreciate that, as well as the public. So thank you very much. Thank you, Kaylee. Welcome aboard. And we really look forward to our new DDA director position coming up soon. And I hope that we have more DDA members here at regular meetings. That's one of our focuses for our last meeting, Mayor, your suggestion. And we appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening would like to speak to the council on any items? I noticed that we have perhaps a couple of students in the audience. Hi there.
Hello.
Usually we offer you the opportunity to come on up and introduce yourself so you can be on the record and you can show your teachers that you actually showed up and participated. Why don't you come on up and...
Hi, I'm Madison Goyette, and I go to Lakeland High School.
My name is Abby Ray, and I also go to Lakeland High School. We're here for our senior government class as a part of an assignment to help us learn more about how the community runs and everything.
Great. And usually we take this opportunity to ask a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Anybody have any questions they like? Mr. Resnick.
I've got one that's been in the news every day for the last few weeks. What is the process called by which the House of Representatives can start articles to potentially remove the President of the United States? What's the
impeachment?
Very good. Impeachment. Super.
Mr. Smiley.
Welcome, ladies. I'm just curious, we get students, like yourselves, maybe every couple of meetings. And I'm wondering what do your teachers want you to look for, when you come? What were you looking for, I guess, from tonight? If anything, and maybe there's nothing, but.
Well, really, we just look for like observations of the council and how like everything runs in here and what's being talked about.
Oh. And how will you describe us tomorrow morning in class?
Well, you seem to know what you're doing, and you seem to be doing it well, and all seem to have very good points when you have something to discuss with the people who come up here, so.
You got 'em fooled. All right, well, thanks.
Anybody else have any? Well, thank you for coming this evening. We like having students come out and watch, and if you want, after the meeting, I'll sign your program or your agenda if you like, so you can take it back and prove that you were here.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else wanting to speak this evening? The second call of the public, seeing no one step forward, I will close the second call of the public. Next item on the agenda are the city manager's comments. Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. A couple of things. I'll mention pretty much all the things that are on my update this time around because I want to cover them and to some extent in addition to the written version that was provided to you. First off, our Planning and Zoning Secretary, Monica Radnitz, recently earned her Citizen Planner Certificate from Michigan State University Extension in their Citizen Planner program. Congratulations to her, and we appreciate her getting further education in relation to the job that she does for us in our building department, if you will. She is going to go on to pursue zoning administrator certification as well in the future. So that's something that she's excited about and we're excited about as well. Secondly, for the city clerk's office, the first round of absentee ballots went to the post office on October 1st. And it mentions the passage of Proposal 18.3 last November, which basically encouraged greater participation with the absentee process that's in place. The clerk office informs us that they've issued 1,354 ballots for election to this date, which is a 63% increase over this same election in 2017. And you can still come into the city clerk's office to request your absentee ballot. You can stop in or call at 624-0865 for more information. And then lastly, we have Cheryl Lucas from my office who's here to help with something that we're excited about. We've had feedback from council and from residents about concerns about trying to do a better job of communicating and staying in touch with residents about our leaf collection program, which is a very, very popular service that we offer. And I might add, we are one of the few communities that still offers that service. And the reason why that's becoming less and less popular of a service offering is because it's difficult to administer. There's lots of logistical problems involved. The weather can play havoc with your plans that you put out ahead of time. It's a pretty expensive service, but the city of Wixom has remained committed to providing that service for our residents. And we've had some feedback about some of the issues that people have experienced, so we want to do a better job of communicating with residents about how our leaf collection program works. And our DPW director, Tim Sikma, was having a conversation with Jody Gallo in his office about that item and trying to explain something that he was interested in seeing done. And he described it pretty briefly, and Jody Gallo ran with it after that and found a friend of hers that actually produces that kind of material. And we have the debut tonight of our leaf collection information video, which I find to be very well done, very informative, and even a little bit funny and entertaining. So now that I've oversold it, hopefully not, we're going to ask Cheryl to go ahead and click the play button and let you take a look at this before we start.
So right, that is a 35-minute film.
10 minutes.
Are you buried in leaves? Leaves overfilling the trash cans? Frustrated with them all over the yard? We've got you covered. At the Department of Public Works, we offer a complimentary collection of unwanted leaves. That's right, all you need to do is pile leaves by the curb, and we will pick it up for free. There are many benefits involved. Collection of leaves means unclogged storm drains, minimal flooding, and less traffic hazards. It also improves water quality and preserves neighborhood appearance and home values, just to name a few. The leaves we collect get turned into compost or mulch to help enrich the soil and combat plant diseases and parasites for other areas in the city, such as parks and gardens. We know you're excited, but before you start raking, here are some considerations. The pile of leaves should be put out only by homeowners, not by contractors. Their process makes the leaves degrade too quickly, making it difficult for us to pick up on time. Avoid long clippings, branches, rocks, or metal objects. They could damage our machine, which could cause delays for other neighbors' piles. Avoid covering storm drains. Keeping storm drains clear of leaves allows for water to flow quickly underground, and it also helps to keep waterways unclogged. Avoid piling leaves by the mailbox. The best spot is between the ditch line and the curb. Please, no pet waste. Oh, that's just not right. If windy weather is expected, leaves can be collected in yard waste bags or cans so they don't blow away and create nuisances. Get to know your leaf schedule. Assigned days in your area are found at the City of Wixom's website. You can also sign up for email notifications by selecting I Want To, then clicking the e-notification option. Rake the leaves on the curb a day or two before your scheduled pickup day. The best spots are between the ditch line and the curb, free of obstructions and parked vehicles. You're almost there, buddy. Perfect. Our goal is to have all leaves picked up before snowfall. If severe weather impacts pickup times, you will be notified via subscribed email or check the City of Wixom's website. We will also post delays or important notices on our Facebook page, so be sure to follow us. If you miss pickup day, don't worry. Leaves and other yard waste can be dropped off free of charge for Wixom residents at the Spurt Industries compost facility. The Department of Public Works is committed to helping you and your neighborhood look its best. For more information, call or visit us online today.
Very well done.
Yeah, we're very pleased with that. We'll start running it on the website, providing updates about it as the time becomes more appropriate on Facebook and other information resources we can make available to people. So that'll be running, be available on our website and provide information for people so they can hopefully have a better experience during leaf collection season. So we're very proud of that. Congratulations to Tim Sickman, to Jody Gallo for the hard work they did on that. I think it came out excellently, and appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
Well done.
Next item on the agenda are council comments. Mr. Beagle.
Thank you. Just want to congratulate Monica Raditz on earning her Citizens Planner Certificate, and welcome Kaylee Fine to the Wixom family, and thank you for stepping up and volunteering. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gotchel.
Thank you. I wanted to thank Mr. Moscone for his involvement in the DDA and expansion of our downtown over the last few years, and his overall dedication to the city of Wixom. Also wanted to welcome Ms. Fine and thank her for volunteering and helping to shape the DDA and our future downtown. Also wanted to share my congratulations to Monica Raditz on her continuing education and growth for getting her Citizen Planner Certificate from MSU. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of things. This Saturday, a lot going on in town. Fire Station Open House and the Panther Hunt. Both events great fun for the family. There's also a packing party for Military Families United, also this Saturday. That you can find details on that for the Wolverine Lake website. I bring it up because Military Families United is run by Wixom residents, John and Debbie Ellsworth, who I think everybody here knows. And if you want to contribute, to the party, the packing party, to the items going out to the troops, you can, get all that information from there too to supply materials, and then you can also come Saturday to help pack the materials going. It's a great event, and it's a real feel-good thing. My condolences to the family of Stuart Collier. He's a former deputy chief who worked here for the city more than 30 years. And also to senior coordinator Kaylin McMahon and her family. They lost their grandfather. Other than that, happy Yom Kippur. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Resnick.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'll just ditto all the comments that Councilman before me made, and Kaylee, again, I think the DDA is becoming more and more relevant, and it's great to see some new energy on that. Congratulations and welcome to the family. Other than that, I would like to ask to be excused for the next meeting. I will be overseas and not able to attend, so if Madam Clerk could take that note. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Leader.
Thank you. Also want to welcome Ms. Fine. Thank you for volunteering. Everybody appreciates that. I'm sure that the DEA will appreciate that as well. And as to the Leaf video that nobody's mentioned yet, I think it's fantastic. I think it was well done, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that I've been talking about for going on a year and a half now. So those are the, quick minute and a half informational type of videos that are easily sent via email, posted on a Facebook page, shared amongst everybody else. So good job, good start. Tim, well done. Well done. That's all I got.
Thank you. Yeah, just I'd echo my fellow council members on the condolences, and I guess I'll go back and touch on a couple. Tony Moscone really did a great job on the DDA, and I think just wanted to make sure that I said thanks to him for all of his service on the DDA. Just to talk briefly about Stu Collier. Stu Collier, I remember Stu Collier back 40 years ago, being an active young guy on the fire department and making all the runs. And he was a true gentleman, and a real good guy. And he worked his way up to be the deputy chief, and just a fine man. And of course, he passed away here a couple of days ago. And I think there's a service this Saturday at noon that smack dab in the middle of the open house for the fire department, unfortunately. But I just wanted to offer my condolences to his family, and just acknowledging that he's certainly remembered as a fine firefighter and a fine city employee. Having said that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Meeting adjourned. Go home.